In this video, I will give you information about permanent residence for caregivers. If you are a caregiver, you can apply for permanent residence under 4 ways. Interim pathway for caregivers, Caring for Children program, Caring for people with high medical needs, and Live-in Caregiver program. First we will see what are the requirements for interim pathway for caregivers. You can apply for this program if you have at least 1 year work experience as a home child provider or a home support worker, and you should have minimum language and education requirements. You must apply for this program within 3 months from March 4th to June 4th, 2019. I will show you what are the minimum language and education requirements here. Go to the Government of Canada website www.canada.ca. Under Permanent Residence for Caregivers, you can see Interim Pathway for Caregivers. Click on that icon. Then you can see what are the working experience, language and education requirements here. Go into language icon. Then you can find out language test. You have to take your test with an approved agency. If you go in approved agency, you can find out what are the approved agency you can apply for your test. Then your language requirements is Canadian Language Benchmark Level 5 in all abilities. And you can find out all the information regarding that test. Then we will go back to education requirements. Click on education. Then you can find out about your education assessment. Educational credential assessment. You should take this from organization approved by Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada. Scroll down. You can find out the agencies here. Designated Organizations for Educational Credential Assessment, approved by IRCC. The next program is Caring for Children class. If you have been working in Canada as a home child care provider for at least 2 years, and if you have minimum language and education requirements, you can apply for this. This program ends on November 29th, 2019. You must submit your application before this deadline. We will see what are the language and education requirements for this program now. Now find out what are the language and educational requirements for Caring for Children program. In the website, you can find out permanent residence for caregivers, Caring for Children program. Go into that. Then you can find out the minimum language and education requirements here too. If you meet the minimum level of Canadian Language Benchmark 5, then you are eligible to apply for that. Then again, you can find out approved language tests, and if you go inside, then you can find out approved agencies as we did in the last time. Agency approved here. You can find out all the information regarding language test here. We will go back to find out what are the minimum requirements of educational credentials. If we go into the education requirements, you can find out all the information. You do not need to assess your educational credentials if you have a Canadian post-secondary education credentials at least 1 year. The other program that you can apply for is Caring for People with High Medical Needs program. You can apply for this program if you have been working in Canada for at least 2 years as a registered nurse, licensed practical nurse, nurse aide or orderly, and home support worker. We will see what are the minimum language and education requirement for this too. This program ends on November 29th, 2019. You have to submit your application form before this deadline. This program is Live-in Caregiver Program. You can apply for permanent residence through this program if you have at least 2 years work experience in the program and you are already working in Canada with a live-in caregiver work permit, or you were approved for your first live-in caregiver program work permit based on a labor market impact assessment submitted to Employment and Social Development Canada on or before November 30th, 2014. If you have work experience in Canada as a caregiver, but if you have no option to go for above programs, you may be eligible to migrate to Canada through a different program. You can search for canada.ca website for this purpose. I hope information of this video will be helpful for you to apply for a permanent residence under various ways.